Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nobody's Favorite Podcast. Today, this is a very, very, very special episode. Today is an episode about families, about sisterhood, and about discovery. Today, I've got very special guests. I've got the light of my life, my other half, my better half, the queen of my castle, Miss Krystal Renee here. Say hello to the people.
Hi, everybody.
And And we have another special guest here today. We have her sister, Miss Yesenia.
Hello.
So today we have them here because we are going to discuss something that a lot of people are going through right now. Discovering new family members. But before we get into that, I want them to give a little background about themselves, let the people know a little bit about who you are, what you do. Let's go with you first, babe. Who are you?
Thanks. So, my name is Krystal Renee. I'm from New York, currently residing in Pennsylvania. I'm a mom of five, and for work, I am a social worker, caseworker. I do stuff like that. So, I'm in the psychology field, mental health. I just try to help families mostly connect. I deal with relationships and families and connection and stuff like that. So, that's me.
Nice. Yeah, I knew all of that, but the people wanted to know, you know. And Yesenia,
That's
let's get a
funny.
little bit about you. Let's get a little bit about your background.
So yeah, my name's Jasenia. I've been a nurse now for 9 years. Married. We just made 7 years 2 weeks ago. We've been together 12, and we have two kids. They're 6 and 3. Got my boy and my girl, so we are like done, like all the way done.
Nice. No, I feel you on that. That's
There
that's
won't be
great.
any extra
Congratulations.
family members or things that they're gonna like find out later. Like it's gonna be like we're good.
Nice. All right, we got some great backstory there. Now, let's get into what we're here for. Let's get
Segue.
us.
That was a good segue.
Let's get into what we doing here. So recently, you guys didn't grow up as sisters. You guys actually recently discovered that you were related, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So
And
it's been, I want to say it's been about a year that I found out
Like,
that she was my sister.
wow. Okay. Nice. So that's really new, especially since you guys are. I mean, you're both still young. You're both still young. But
hmm
you've already lived full lives, marriage, children, traveling, different careers, and now after all of this
hmm
time, you find out that there's another one.
Yeah.
How
Well,
how?
for me, it was like there's four more. So it
Oh
was a
yeah,
whole
with
extra
you,
four
yeah, you
people.
found out you had an entire new like. They found out they had a new sister. You had a new entire family.
Right, right.
So,
But yeah,
very
I literally
interesting.
found out a week after my 30th birthday. So like in December, I got the DNA ancestry kit. And I was like, I jokingly said to my husband, like, oh, I'm going to take this to find out who my dad is, right? Because I never knew him my whole life. My mom said, like, long time ago that when she came around the block with me a few weeks after I was born and said, Manny, this is your baby, her words were, he didn't claim me, didn't want nothing to do with me, said that my mom was a whore, all this shit, and that I was not his daughter. So then my mom was like, okay, fuck it. Like, you don't want to be in her life. I'm never going to talk to you again. And then left. He has since told me like a different story that kind of
Okay.
paints him in a different light than what she said. So it's like, kind of conflicting. And somewhere in there is the truth, you know? So I had like the first match that came up was actually not even to Krystal because she's never done the DNA testing. It was Kristen, which is her cousin. Like,
Mm,
well, my first cousin as well. Like it
okay.
said first to second cousin relation. And the only way that that could be my cousin is if, her father is my uncle, which would be, the brother to my father. So I hit her up. I sent her a message on the DNA thing, and I was like, hey, like it says that we're like first or second cousin relation. And I think that you're from my dad's side because I've never met you and I know everybody on my mom's side. Like I know every single first cousin. So I didn't hear anything like for 3 months. I sent this
Mm.
to her in March. I didn't hear shit. So I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, oh, okay, like just another dead lead, and I left it alone. But then I got a message a week after my 30th birthday, and it was from Kristen reaching out saying, like, hey, I found you on Facebook. Um, I think that, are you the same person who messaged me on DNA Ancestry? And I responded immediately back, like, oh yeah, that was me. Like, what's up? And then she's like, I think that your dad is my uncle. And I was like, what? So then like we start going back and forth exchanging information. I was like, well, what's his name? And then she said his name is Manuel Cabrera. And I was like, that's what my mom said was my dad's name. Then it was like, well, when's his birthday? And then like she's like, I don't know, like maybe December, but like she had no idea. So then what else happened then? So then like we just started going back and forth about where they met, where he used to live. Like, oh, he lived in Queens. That's where my mom said that she met him, like all this stuff. And there was just too many coincidences for it not to be like certain. And then at some point, Kristen brought in Krystal and told her. And then that's when the whole shit ball started rolling. And when we found out that like our brother is 2 months younger than me, and like our dad actually cheated on her mom. They were married with my mom, and it was a whole like fucked up situation
Wow.
in
All
a
right.
nutshell.
That sounds very interesting from your end. Wow, that sounds like a lot. All right.
It was a lot.
Hey, I mean, it led to a good situation. So Krystal,
It did.
on your end,
Yes.
how did this just transpire from your side? Like I see how she was like kind of blindsided. I mean, I guess you were all blindsided, but how did you find out about this and how did you react?
So initially, when one of my cousin actually, my cousin Kristen had reached out to me initially, and she's like, "Hey, I got to talk to you." Literally within 2 minutes of her sending me that message, my father calls me. My father never calls me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is he calling me right now? And, in the midst of that, he's literally calling me like 3 times in a matter of 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, let me just answer. And then he's like, he always starts off like, "Cómo está mi reina?" Like, "Oh, how you doing, my princess, my queen?" type shit. And he's just like, "Oh, I just wanted to catch up. How are you doing? How the kids? How my grandkids? How's the baby? How's the hubby?" Oh, everything that I'm just like, and I
You
literally
never
like,
called for this.
never. And I'm just like, okay, like, and I literally said, "What do you want? Like, why are you calling me?" And he's like, "Look, have you spoken to your cousin?" Literally, verbatim. "Have you spoken to your cousin?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, so apparently,
Oh my God.
Mm-mm-mm.
apparently, there's this girl that's claiming that I am her father." He's like, "Her name is Yesenia, and I don't know all the information, but I promise you, I don't remember sleeping with her mom." And I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, so I'm just like baffled, confused, but not surprised because I
Mm-hmm.
know my daddy's a whore. Like I'll keep it a buck. Like I always knew that one day in my lifetime it was gonna come up that my father had more children. I guarantee there's maybe 2 other ones out there that we have
Mm-mm-mm.
yet to find out about.
Sheesh.
Just because my father was like literally like
He
that
was a Rolling
song,
Stone.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, was literally my father. So much so that the day I found out about Jasenia, that was literally, I posted that. Like literally my post was, "Papa was a Rolling Stone. What a fucking day." And that's when, Jasenia and I had talked and stuff like that. So he's telling me all this and I'm just like, all right. So I'm just taking it in. And then afterwards I did reach out to my cousin Kristen and she's like, "Well, this girl looks just like you." And I'm just like, what the fuck? And she's like, "Let me send you pictures." starts, blasting me with pictures. And I'm like, holy fuck, like she really does look like me. And so much so, she's telling me the story of how you guys got connected. And she's like, well, she's open to talking to you and getting to know you. Like she would like to, you know, she wants to learn more about her father. Like that's her goal. Because then I'm like, okay, what does she want from me? Like, what am I gonna do? And she's like, she has no connection. She doesn't know anything about her dad. She doesn't know anything. She knows she's Dominican and Puerto Rican. She's Puerto Rican because of her mom. She's Dominican because of her father, but she doesn't know anything. So I did reach out to Yesenia on Facebook, and I'm just like, hey, I got your information from my cousin Kristen. Apparently, I'm your sister. So, like,
exactly how it happened.
literally, like, apparently I'm your sister.
It was like, this isn't
And
awkward.
I just gave her some background information, like, oh, my name is this. I was born then. I have, children and this, that, and I live here. And then we discovered she lives in Delaware. She's like, oh, maybe we can link up one day. And then, within that time frame, her and I kept in contact, spoke about meeting up, didn't actually think it was ever going to happen. Um, like spoke
Well,
about
because first
meeting
it was
up.
supposed to be like for the kids, like for us and the kids together. And then like how this whole thing happened was
Like
because
out
we're
of
like,
nowhere, like it's June and I get
yep.
thrown in a group chat and it's just like, so we're meeting up this day to meet and it's gonna be a cousin sister trip so we can all get to know each other. And I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck you
Well,
mean?
we
Like,
were like voted on dates. It wasn't like we said, oh, this is the date. Like we said, hey, like we really want to meet up. And first it was just us three, like me, you, and Kristen. And then Kristen added Arlene. And then Arlene was like, oh, okay, here we are.
and
We're in
Arlene's our
here.
other cousin who is
Yeah,
Kristen's sister.
sister.
So then it ended
Who's
up just,
also her half sister. Fun fact.
And
who is
and
also
and and
her
this
half
trip,
sister
y'all are talking about to meet up. This is the trip y'all are on right now at this moment, correct?
Right now.
right now at
Yep.
this moment. Yes.
So you guys are
Like
fresh
And
yesterday for
which,
the
meeting each
first
other.
time. Like, yes,
yeah, like
in
honestly,
person.
Jasenia, that was the first time I've ever met her. My cousin Kristen, I have not seen her since I was 17.
Oh,
So
Mm,
it's been quite some time. Arlene, the last time I saw her, she was 2 and she's about to be 27. So
damn.
wow,
it's
wow.
it was a long, long time since I've seen family, met, Arlene. I'm like telling her, like, yeah, I know you. And she's like, I don't recall ever meeting you. And I'm just like, well, you were a baby, of course, whatever. So, I mean, this has been quite the experience. We literally have had so far happy times, not so happy times. There's been a lot of personalities. It's getting to getting used to knowing these individuals because it's like usually like realistically speaking in general, if I have a disagreement with a female and I really don't like them, it's like, all right, whatever, fuck this bitch, like let's keep it moving. But it's like we're all family, but that's not an option here. It's like, okay, we're not, there's a disagreement, there's something that's off, we need to figure it out and hash things out, and how are we going to move forward so that everybody's happy, kind of thing. So
Mm.
it's been very interesting. Like, she got to meet our father and they did a DNA test, and now we should be getting results by the end of this week. She met our uncle, which is Kristen and Arlene's dad, and he's here. He's the jokester of the group, so he's just like it's
Sounds like
been
When
quite
we
a
did
interesting.
the when we did the reservation under special request, Arlene puts DNA testing.
That was the reservation she made. Was like DNA testing.
Kristen had, or Crystal had said like, oh, you should put like first time meeting the dads or something, or like I'm meeting my father or something crazy, and it was fun. And she's like, I'm literally putting special request DNA test, and then she's like, what if they thought that like they needed to give us a DNA test?
this is this is
Yo,
this is this is interesting. This is a whole daddy daughter meetup. Like this
Yeah.
it
is
was, yeah,
so
like a whole little family affair.
so Crystal, you haven't seen you're pretty much fresh with everybody. So everybody's fresh with everybody except for Arlene and Kristen. They've been growing up together with each other, but
So they grew up together, but even them themselves coming into this trip, they
Mhm.
had, had a falling out themselves as sisters,
Mm.
and they hadn't seen each other for like 3-4 years or spoken to each
Oh,
other for 3-4 years. So like it was literally just super fresh. Everybody just meeting up for the first time, and it was just like, whoa.
Hmm.
Like
yeah.
you look like me and you look like me and you look like me, but we don't really know each other at all.
Yeah, I ain't no doctor, but I don't think I need a DNA test to tell that y'all are sisters. I mean, if by some weird stroke this happens to be, nah, there's no way. There's no way. Y'all two are definitely related because it's exactly like it's crazy.
The funny thing is we actually thought about that. Like right before we came on here, we were just like, what if we get the results and it says you're not, like, we're not sisters?
Oh,
Like
that's
like
another
That
episode.
look, and I
That's another episode right there.
right. That's a follow up. That's a follow up.
Yeah, because that's crazy.
literally.
Y'all like all the
Well, just
names
like
and everything is
Papa was a
crazy.
Rolling Stone. My mom was a Rolling Stone too. So honestly, I can't put anything past nothing right now. Apparently, the '90s was a crazy time, is what our father told me. Like everybody was stealing cars in the '90s. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what was
So that
this,
was the thing to
Grand Theft
do.
Auto? I guess,
Mm-mm-mm.
I just,
I mean, there were a
I
lot of movies
vividly
with stuff like
remember.
that in the 90s.
That's true. I mean, I vividly remember my mom telling me that, like, that my dad was a criminal because he would steal cars, and like when he came to pick her up, that he was in an unmarked cop car, and she knew it was an unmarked cop car that he had stolen, because when she opened the glove compartment, like the gun fell out, and it had like I guess police guns are registered some type of way. I don't know. It was like in a police holster. And then she was like, "Is this a police car?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just stole it." Like just real calm, real like nonchalant. And my mom didn't like say, "Oh, let me out the car," nothing. She was just like, "Oh, okay. These are the standards, that we
Hey, man,
raised
those
in
were different
here."
times. Those were different times. Those the 90s
I mean, I
wasn't
think
was.
that stealing today is still stealing like how it was back then. I mean, I don't know. I
I mean,
think that's like
stealing
a
is stealing,
basic.
but I mean, now people have Instagram. Like back then, you had to occupy your time somehow. So fuck
True.
it, like steal a car, right? Why not?
Oh. Okay, my bad, my bad. Yeah.
I mean, my dad did more than just steal cars, but
Well, we're not about
Oh
this. Ain't a
gosh.
podcast about.
I,
This ain't the first
I,
40 years.
I just I
All
said
right.
I said
This
I
ain't.
said I'm not about to air out his business.
Listen, we're
Just
gonna have to
I was
bleep
like,
out his
saying,
nah, nah,
name.
nah,
We're
nah.
gonna have to do everything because my
Right.
man
The
ain't.
feds is about to come on here, and I'm like, wait,
Y'all about
wait,
to have
wait.
me under
We're not,
surveillance in this
nobody's
motherfucker.
involved.
Mm-mm. No, no, no. This is a family show. This episode.
Oh God, that's funny.
So I had a question for you, Krystal.
yes.
I wanted to know. So like, I was doing some research because it's happening. I saw like recently there was this lady who found out she had like 65 siblings or something like that because her like father was like a sperm donor or something, and then she did like a DNA test or something, and then ended up finding out she had like a lot of siblings. So I don't know. I guess my question would be like, how do you feel? Like, how do you like you growing up? Because those people don't know their dad. Their dad was a sperm donor. They never none of them ever met him. So they're all like just coming in together brand new. You as somebody who's known your dad for a while, for I guess your entire life, um, having your relationship with him, did it ever make you feel any kind of way like, oh no, there's a new daughter? Like, what? I gotta share my dad?
I mean, I felt like that yesterday. No, I mean, no.
I was
I
gonna say,
mean,
you said that you didn't feel the type way when we talked about this last
no, no,
night.
no.
This
We
this this is a
spoke
safe
about this
space.
last night. This is no. I mean, for me, it was just like, okay. So this is gonna sound really fucked up. So I was just known as my dad's like pretty daughter. So it was just like, not to sound shallow, like now Jasenia's here and she's pretty, so I gotta share that limelight. Like,
Wow.
I said it was
What?
shallow.
Wow.
That's literally what it was.
So that's
I
what
said
came
it
to
was
mind.
shallow.
Not. Oh
Like,
no, this is my dad. You're not going to get my dad. You don't get his time. No,
No,
it's
no, it
about
was just like, oh
it
who
my
he
wasn't
thinks the
even about
goodness.
prettiest
his
daughter
son.
is.
Yeah, like I know I'm
What?
like one of like I know like if I were to look at my dad's like kids, like I was the first and I'm like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch. Like I'm like the most best looking one and then here comes Yesenia and it's just like, damn, like she might have taken that from me just a little bit. So
Krystal, you're beautiful though. Like, why would
I
you
know I
say
am. I'm just
that?
saying that you're like up there with me.
Oh, so you feel like I'm competition.
Yeah, and
But it's
we
not a
already know
competition. We're
it's not, but
sharing.
it is. No, no, no. It's not, but it is because at the end of the day, you know I'm competitive. Like
I
I've proven
know,
this
but
to
like
be
why
very.
but like why are we compete? What are we compete? I'm so confused. What's the game? What's the rules? Like
Listen,
what
listen.
are
I
we
mean, I know this is a
competing?
sister thing, but everything is competing with Krystal. Okay, listen. I love you,
Yes,
babe, but it's just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. I guess
It's
in
like,
her
oh,
brain it
you
doesn't have
tired?
to
No,
make
I bet
sense.
you I'm gonna go to sleep first. Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
what are we
Anything. Like
doing,
it's
right?
weird. It's like
everything, everything.
Oh,
it
you're
doesn't make
hungry?
sense.
No, bitch, I'm hungry. Like, wait, this isn't nothing. We can both be hungry. Like we don't have to
Yeah.
compete.
So yeah, I mean, I wasn't jealous.
Mm-mm.
So I wasn't jealous to share him because clearly there's enough of him to go around. Ding.
Oh
Um,
God. Yo,
No, but in all
I can't.
actuality, like it was just like I always wanted a sister that was close. Like, of course, I have my sisters and I love them to death, but I always wanted like a sister that was closer to me in age, which would fall where Jasenia's at, like because she's only 4 years younger than me. So for me, it's like
Are
I
you
thought that was
35?
cool. Not, not yet.
So then I'd be 4 years younger than you.
I said 4 years.
I thought
Yeah.
you said 5.
No, I said
You
4.
said 5. No, he heard you. He said
No, she
you
said
said
4. She said
5.
4. Well, we'll see in the playback. I think I heard 4,
Oh.
but we'll see in the playback.
I said 4. Anyway, I said so that's close enough. That's as close to my age. Unless, like I said, unless there's another kid somewhere. Like I always wanted a little sister. I was okay with that. Like, I have my brother who, is 2 years younger than you. He was the
2
closest one
months.
to my age. I mean,
Two
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 months.
months. You're right. 2
2
months
months
younger
younger.
than you.
Just
So
clarifying
I
that.
grew up with him, but that was like more like my kid than my
Yeah.
equal. So
Yeah.
having, I mean, I'm older now, so it's like we miss out on the like sisterly stuff of like
The
being
young stuff.
teenagers and like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go hang out in the mall or like,
We can still hang out in the
hey,
mall.
like don't
We
fuck
could
my
do kid shit.
boyfriend. Like,
Yeah, you guys can go
Sisters be fucking
cruise the
sisters'
mall. Like
boyfriends.
did we not just watch that on Jerry Springer today?
We
Like that was
did.
literally
We
the
did.
episode.
But I'm the person that's like sisters before misters. Like that's my slogan. Like you know
hmm,
how men say bros before hoes?
I
I'm
like that.
sisters before
That was good.
misters. Like
That was good.
I'm not.
Sisters, but more, yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one. I
sisters
like
before
that.
misters. You
That's
can't
cool.
fuck up the code. Like that's the code. That's the code. Like anyone that you've ever even like fucked or been in a relation. Oh shit. Wait, can I cuss? You
Yeah,
said it was a family
because
show.
no. This
Oh,
episode is
oh,
about families.
oh,
It's not
oh.
a fucking family show. Trust me.
Okay. But yeah, like anyone that's like you fucked or been in a relationship with, like I would not. I mean, obviously I'm married, and like unless like I put him in the ground or God does, like we're not. There's no divorce here. But Justin's looking at me like, whoa, this bitch is crazy. He said, don't rub off on her. But unless like if something like that were to happen, like nah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't even be like a thought. Like I'm definitely a sisters before misters person.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have found her now. Like I'm still young enough to be able to build a relationship with her and have us grow together now as, old people, I guess.
That's
I'm not
old people.
old.
You guys are not old. You guys are young.
We're
You're
not
still young.
old.
You're
Right. We
not
have so much
old.
life. I don't even know if we're
Hmm.
halfway through our life. Like I'm not
I
dying at 62.
I hope not.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. That would be quite unfortunate. You don't want
That'd
that to
be
happen. Oh yeah, you don't want that to
Oh my
happen. You guys,
gosh,
you guys
man.
need, you guys need
Y'all
more
have
time
me
together. You guys need
dying.
more time together. Another question.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
when you guys met, like, so it's gonna sound weird, like how the analogy I use here, but like just stick with me for a minute,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
like when a guy goes to, or a woman, like anybody goes to the military, and they're gone for a long time, and then they come home, and the dog is like, oh shit, oh, he's all happy to see them and everything. It's like a connection, like that's that bond. It's cool. Like when, even though y'all didn't know each other, you've been speaking for a past year, whatever, but this is the first time meeting. Did you guys feel like when you met that there was like a connection, like a familial attraction, like, oh my god, this is I know, I feel you. You're my sister.
Mhm.
Was there
Do you
anything
want to
like
go
that?
first?
I was actually
Go
gonna
ahead.
say in reference to Yesenia, like not to speak for you, but I guess that's the big sister in me. She said she had that connection with our dad, which,
Interesting.
initially, when I first came up to meet her, it wasn't as warming as I thought it was gonna be, if I'm being quite honest. I thought she was gonna be like, oh, big sister, and it wasn't that. It was just like, all right, kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
she
So,
didn't seem as happy to meet me as I felt like I was going into it. Like, okay, I thought she was gonna be all excited to
so,
see me, and it
so,
wasn't that. It was just like, all right, kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
yeah. So, okay. So I will say from my standpoint, like I was excited, but I'm also very cautious. Like I don't like to, like I can't rush into like intimate relationships like that. And like to me, like sisters, brothers, whatever, mom, dad, like all those are very intimate relationships. And like you just don't want, like, I didn't want to come off as being hype and then you're like, whoa, like, okay. So like I just wanted to manage the expectation. Like I didn't want to come on too strong. Like, like when someone's like when you meet a guy and like he's hella thirsty and he's like, oh, blah, 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 right? Like trying to be all over you. It's just like, okay, like chill out. Like I just met you. So like I didn't know what the vibe was gonna be. Like had I known that like you were coming warmingly and like, oh yeah, like we're huggy, touchy feely people. Because I am like I'm a super affectionate person. Like you've seen, like I've laid on you here and there, like whatever, because like now it's more comfortable. But like I didn't know what your vibe was, and like we've only texted and talked. Like it hasn't been like, oh sister, this, whatever. And I didn't want to like come on too strong, and then you're like, whoa, this is a lot. You know what I mean? So I just like played it more reserved and like just let it be more natural. I guess if that makes sense.
Makes
But
sense.
I wasn't trying to be like, standoffish because that's how you took it. I could see.
Just a little bit.
But you didn't come no warm and friendly either. Like, had you shared that same type of energy, then I would have reciprocated that. But I didn't want to be like, I guess I was like not being vulnerable. Like, I didn't want to put myself out there like that and then be like, I don't know, like you act, I guess how I acted towards you.
But you see, in the same position, funny enough, I can say the same thing towards you in the
Mm-hmm.
sense of, all right, I didn't feel the warmth, so I'm not coming that way because
Right.
I do in general have a fear of rejection,
Right. Right.
by
Right. That's
people
how
in
I felt
general,
too.
whether, and especially when it comes in the form of, as you said, intimacy with a
Right.
relationship that is my sister, my man, my family, that
Right.
at that token, when I'm coming and you're just like on some whateverness, I'm like, all right, so I'm not about to put myself out there. This bitch
Yeah.
don't even want a fucking relationship with me like that. She just
Well,
want to
and
come.
like I came up and I hugged you. Like it wasn't like I didn't hug you. Like
I
I
mean,
hugged
yeah,
you.
but I
I
felt
hugged
like it was fake.
Arlene.
Well, you
No,
guys,
no, no. It
you
wasn't
guys
fake.
got it.
It
You
was
guys.
it was guarded. It was guarded. It was guarded. It was.
Well, how
It
do you
was.
guys feel now? How do you guys feel now? That was then. How do you feel now?
Then 2 days ago.
2 days could be a big
2 days
difference.
ago.
2 days can make a
I mean, I will
big
say it
difference.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
It is. It is.
I
It
feel
is.
like we do have that sisterly bond now. Like
Nice.
I can feel it.
Nice. That's what I
Like
wanted
it's
to hear.
there.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
2 days, 2 days later, like she
2 days
said, she
later.
literally just be coming up on me and just laying down on me and stuff like that. Like she said, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna lay on you. You're just squishy. Okay.
Well, I
But
don't know
you
what
see,
that
like
means,
that, okay, like
but
why you gotta make me feel awkward? Like just be like,
Because you
oh,
said it's not
okay,
awkward. It's
come
just because you said
here.
I was squishy. Like,
No, like I didn't mean squishy. Like I meant soft. Like your skin was soft.
I
That's
do have
all.
soft skin.
oh yeah,
You
you my squishy
do.
baby.
Thank
I love you, my squishy
You
baby.
and he knows he's cuddled with you. So
Yeah. It's been too many
you.
days
Great
since
night.
that's
then.
funny.
It's been too many days since then. I need you back home soon. But that's
Look,
that's that,
I
that's a
agree. We
different
were just
story.
having a whole conversation. Look, that's a whole nother podcast. Okay, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother fucking episode. That's like a 21 and up, after adult hours episode. We could call that shit the red light special, to be continued. Because we had a whole conversation. If you had been at that Cuban spot, been a fly in the wall, you would have been like, word, word. Like we was dropping
And
some gems at that table. That's for
oh
another
my
episode
God.
though.
Oh
Back to
my,
this. Back
yeah,
to this.
yeah. We'll talk about that another time. So 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 you guys both wanted the warmth, but at the same time you ain't want to feel like you were getting rejected, so you guys downplayed it a little bit.
Right. Didn't want to
But
be
after a
played.
while,
Right, 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 right,
yeah,
right.
after you guys met the dads and did everything you guys did, and boom, 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 2 days later, here you are, big happy family. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So so I have a question for you, Yesenia.
Okay.
When so Krystal said that you had that connection to your dad when you met him, that you felt it, right? Do you feel like, and you also said that you have a problem with the intimate relationships. You don't like to just jump into it. Do you feel like that is your dad? Like that's it? Like you don't need this DNA, even though you've already taken it. You don't need this DNA test. Like this is my dad.
Yeah, it's like I was trying to describe it to Crystal yesterday. Like when we hugged, it was like, I don't know, like it was just it just felt like I couldn't define I still can't find the words to describe it, but it was like an electric like type of charge. Like I don't know, like I don't want to be dramatic and be like, oh, it sounds like when lightning strikes, but it's like, I don't know, like it was just like something, like I felt something. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like one of those feelings of just like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
I don't know, like
okay.
unless like you've ever like experienced it, it's like hard to
No,
like
it's that feeling
pinpoint
of
what that
certainty. I
feeling
understand.
was. Yeah.
Okay.
He understands.
Nice, nice. I'm glad you had that
I
feeling. I'm
guess
I'm
it's
glad that
almost
you
like,
got this.
yeah.
No. I mean, I've never met you. I don't know you personally. This is literally, even though you guys have been talking for a year, this is my first time ever speaking to you. I mean, I don't know if Krystal was like, oh, I don't want to introduce you to my sister because I don't know if that's my sister yet. You know what I'm saying? Or what? But hi,
Oh, I don't
how
know.
you
You
doing?
got to take that up with
But
her.
anyway,
But to be fair,
but
she hasn't talked to my husband either.
no, I mean, I was just messing with her. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, y'all, this is all about y'all. I don't. I'm just the guy who stays in the back and holds the bag while y'all go do what y'all gonna do. Um, you, what was I gonna ask? Oh, honestly, like I said, I don't know you. I don't really know your situation. I don't know what your situation is with your other siblings. I don't know anything about any of it. But all I do know is that
Hmm.
I do like to see people happy. And Krystal has there's been, like, when she talks about going on vacation and stuff, at times she seemed a little reserved. Obviously, like you
Hmm.
did, a little bit I don't want to bring my defenses down too much. But she seemed really excited.
Hmm.
Really excited. I was really excited for her for this trip, getting to meet
Yeah.
you, and honestly, her getting to see you interact with you guys' dad, and just
Hmm.
getting this time to bond, living where we do live. It's not where we're from, so she doesn't really get much time to be
Right.
around her friends and family much. So I'm glad you guys got to do this. I really am.
Yeah.
I really am.
It was a good time. It's been a good time. It's been a vibe.
Nice.
It's been a whole vibe. The
So do
beach,
you
the
still?
sun, the sand.
Oh yeah, you guys did a lot of beaching. You still live up in Delaware?
I do. Yep. I live in Delaware.
Okay, so that's not too
The
far. So
only
you guys
reason
can
I
link up.
do is
You guys
because,
don't got to go all the way to
yeah.
Florida to link up next
Oh,
time.
yeah. No, she's actually a lot closer up in Pennsylvania than down here. Yeah, I mean, we were talking
Absolutely.
about that, like this time actually, like getting the kids and stuff and like the husbands, boyfriends together and like hanging out, like a family thing. Because we wanted to do this first, like just us to like meet and have a bond. So like it wouldn't be like, okay, now it's like us and the kids. And it's like just the extra dynamic because you have like the mom role and then your wife role. And then it's like,
Yeah.
trying to manage everyone's like comfortability and expectations and all that. And it's just like a lot. It can be a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's better that you guys went down there by yourselves anyway because you get to be yourself.
Yeah.
You don't gotta, like you said, there's the mom role, the
Right.
wife role. You don't gotta like do anything. You can just be you. You
Right.
guys wanna just act crazy and wild and just do shit that you
Right.
wouldn't normally do on regular at home. Have at it. Ain't nobody there to say nothing to you about it. It's a
Or shit
vacation.
that we would do at home, just like not around our kids.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Wow. So is there anything that you guys want to add about this? Like, anything that you guys want to tell other people who may have had the same situation as you, like, or be on the fence about, like, I did the test and I says I have some siblings, but I don't know if I want to meet them. Do you guys have any advice for anybody else going through similar situations?
Go ahead, Krystal. You could go first from yours, since you were like the one that didn't like do the DNA testing. You were just like you just came as a result.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for me, I would just say tell anybody in this experience just to have an open mind about it. Um, they don't necessarily have to just jump into it right away. Like, give it
Yeah,
time,
we
think it
didn't.
through. But in the same token, like, at the end of the day, family's all we have. So for me, it's like, I think it's great to have like an extra sibling and stuff like that. That's someone that I can talk to and build with, and now even extend more family. Like, you know, hopefully, I mean, to what we think, Jasenia is my sister. Her kids would literally be my first set of niece and nephew. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so for like none of my other siblings have any kids. Like I'm
Mm.
used to being the one with all the kids on both sides of my family. Literally, well, now without just saying it, but like literally on both sides of my family, mom and dad, I'm just the one with the kids. So it's like for her to come in now to be able to play that, that's a new hat that I'll get to experience is being
Mm-hmm.
an aunt and stuff like that. And her kids are still young enough that I can develop a relationship with them and stuff like that. They can have a bond with my kids and stuff like that. So I do feel like that would be really good. So I just say, just fuck it, just try it, give it a shot. Like, and if it doesn't work out, y'all could just pretend like y'all didn't exist, like y'all didn't know about each other all this time,
Just
This
go
and
is
back
that's
true.
to being
it. Just go
Just go.
back to your everyday life,
Just
like,
go back to last
right.
week,
and
Just
right?
cut it off.
Fuck it.
Right.
pretty much. But
Before
Nice.
like,
you knew.
but at the same time, if it does work out as, so far what it seems like it's going for us, it's just more family, more people to be able to trust and, build
Do
life
stuff with.
with and stuff like, why not?
Mm-hmm. And then
Nice.
now I can say
Nice.
you're going to your aunt's house for the summer. So just look forward to it.
So that's something new for both of you. So your children don't have any other aunts. Well, but, until now.
My kids or her
Yeah,
kids?
yours, Jasenia.
No. So I have two sisters.
Okay.
I have two
Okay.
sisters on my mom's side. Yeah, so I'm the
Nice.
oldest of three, and my sisters have kids. My youngest sister has 9 kids, and my middle sister has 4 kids. Yeah, yep. That's a whole.
Jesus.
That's
Honestly, that's all.
literally
That's
everyone's reaction every time. Every time she
every
says
single
nine,
time.
everyone's like, nine? Like,
Every
they're
single time.
every
Like,
person.
Every
Like,
and that's
from
single time.
all like
yesterday.
They
9
do.
biological children.
Like, yes, like out of her body. They're not all from the
Yes.
same person, but yes, out of
Yes,
her
out of her
body.
body.
Yes,
Oh
out of
my
her
God.
body.
Because I
Like,
mean,
yes.
together, Krystal and I have
Mm-hmm.
8, but that's like in unison, like fucking combined. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Not all from
yeah,
her.
no, wow,
Like, you would have
that's
thought my sister
God
was a
bless that
farmer.
woman,
Like,
Jesus. Whew.
Yeah,
Somebody get her
yeah.
like a board game
So
or
she is
something, man.
9.
Jesus Christ. She needs something to do.
I look, look, we tried.
She had too much time on
But
her
my
hands.
middle
Yeah.
sister has 4, exactly. My middle sister has 4 kids. So I've been an aunt. Like I did not. I had kids after my sisters started having kids. So like my youngest sister got pregnant when she was 15. I was still in college, and I was like helping my mom take care of him because my sister like abandoned him. So like
Mm.
we were. I literally had him up in my dorm room, like my college dorm room on the weekends. Like my sorority sisters knew who my nephew was, and like they still to this day are like, "Yo, is he still a badass?" Like because he was trying to like beat our like sorority cat with a stick. Like,
Wow.
where's this coming
Mm-mm-mm.
from? He was like 2.
Damn. Damn.
So yeah, he was wild.
Damn.
But so yeah, like I've been the aunt, like the
Okay.
aunt, and then like my relationship with my sisters is not great because my sisters made very different life choices than I did. And
Okay.
I just knew that I didn't want to live in poverty. Like I knew that I didn't want to have multiple baby dads. Like I knew that I wanted to be like married. Like I knew that that was the life that I wanted for myself because I saw stability in that and I saw like the worth in that. And I like literally wanted to be everything that my mom wasn't. Like that was like my internal, kind of motivation. Like that's why I worked my ass off and I graduated high school. Like I was the first one in my family to graduate high school. I was the first one in my family to go to college, let alone get a master's degree. Like that was like beyond everybody's like expectation. Like when you grow up like in the Bronx and then like your mom like gets into like a crazy ass relationship with her first husband and you go through all this abuse, like literally the cards were stacked up for me not to be successful, for me to like be on drugs, for me to have a kid young, for me to like get involved in shit that was not the right path. But like I just persevered beyond that and I found that through education, like I could get over that and like be the person I am today. So it's just like being able to now have like an older sister that had like that is very ambitious and like goal driven and like we're very similar personality types. Like it's nice to be able to have like intellectual conversations with somebody and like we can have like open dialogue about politics or open dialogue about how we feel about different stuff, and it's not like there's such a huge knowledge gap, and there's not a huge like maturity gap either, because I've always been told like I'm very like I'm an old soul, like I'm very like mature for my age. Like all my friends have always been older than me. Like I have very few friends that are around my age, and those that are like we're very similar in maturity style. So to be able to like I've always wanted to have like an older sibling. I've always said brother, but I'll take sister, it's fine.
I'm kind of like
And
a brother. I
you
beat you
are,
in
Hey,
you
whoa,
sports.
whoa,
are.
whoa,
I
whoa.
beat you
No,
in
ain't
sports.
nothing,
Oh my
I'm
God. First of
nothing
all, we
boy about
haven't
you.
even played any sports to play. Like, what are you
There's
talking
nothing boy
about?
about me.
Nah, get out of here. Get out of here with that. Anyway.
He's
No,
like, look, first of all, don't be
that's
telling people you're a man out here.
yeah, nah, this ain't that type of podcast. No. No offense, but this ain't one of those. Um, well, that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad that you got to number one, flourish, thrive, and exceed expectations, and number two, find somebody that you can have the kind of connection with that not necessarily that you've been craving, but that you've been needing. That we all need somebody that we
Mm,
can have an intimate relationship with, that we can feel like we can talk to about it. And it doesn't always have to be our spouse, because I would like to
right,
believe that you're an intelligent woman, you have an intelligent husband. But sometimes we just need somebody else that we can open up differently. You know what I mean? Like I can talk to
hmm,
my siblings about not necessarily different things than I talk to my woman about, but in different ways. You know what I mean? We can have man
right,
talk.
right,
You guys can have nice
right,
girl talk.
right.
So that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad you guys have that. I'm glad you have that. I'm glad Krystal has that. That's pretty cool. So, do you have any advice for people trying to see if they want to meet their siblings?
Yeah, I would just say like had you told me, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago that like I would be here, like, and that I would have met my dad after like 31 years of just being alive. Because I honestly never thought it was gonna happen. Like I had just chalked it up, like I wrote it off. I said, you know what, like I'm just gonna accept, like I'm never gonna meet my dad. It's just gonna be like this unknown half, and you just accept it and you move on, right? And it's just like it is what it is. And then doing the DNA thing, like I really even then like just did it as like oh, let me just find out if my ancestry is from Africa, something like stupid. But I never thought that it was like gonna come out to this. Like I would have never first thought that like taking that test back in December and then like just a series of all this events. And I mean, I'm happy that I did it. I would say, just like Krystal said, like to just remain open to the experience. And if you're wondering and you really want to know, I would just say do it. Like I did it because one of my husband's aunts was like, yeah, I've read crazy stories about like DNA ancestry that people do it and they find out that like their dad is not really their dad, and that all this shit, and like it's broken families, and like crazy shit has happened, and like people find out that they were switched at birth, like all types of crazy shit like that. And I was like, well, the best case scenario is that like I find my dad and he's like the prince of some African country, and now I'm a Nubian queen princess. Like that's the best, right? Or like I have an estate, like I'm gonna be rich. That didn't happen this time.
This time.
But this time it didn't happen this time.
You
But
got something
I
better.
did
You got a
get like
sister
something
named
even better.
Krystal.
Yeah, I got something even better. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like I got something even better. Like I get to have like a new relationship, 2 new relationships, hell really 4 or 5 new relationships if we're counting all the siblings and being able to meet them and stuff. And like just meeting, our father yesterday, it was like just like real surreal because we're very similar in personality. Like it was crazy. Like when as he was talking, I'm like, yo, like that's literally me. Like that's crazy.
Nice. Well, it sounds like this was a productive trip. It sounds like you guys made the right decision. I'm glad we got this talk. I'm glad we can get a little background on what's been going on with newfound siblings. And hopefully
Yeah.
you guys are not estranged anymore. Hopefully you guys are, more directly in contact.
We gotta have an update when the families actually meet, an update podcast.
Yeah, we gotta have an update when the
A
kids
sequel, a
meet.
sequel.
Yeah, part 2. This is just part 1. We're gonna have a
Right.
part 2,
When
and
you meet my husband meets you, and then everybody meets everybody.
yeah, when you guys meet me and see what a dumpster fire I am, it's crazy. You're gonna be like, oh, Krystal, why this guy? No, no, you gotta get away from him.
No one's gonna say that. Everyone loves you
No.
already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're pretty cool.
Cool.
You're pretty cool. From this 48 minutes that I've known you, you're pretty cool.
See, and imagine with 2 days. You guys had 2 whole days. Look at that.
Mind you, I was over here playing your music, so
Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah, I heard that song. Like
you
when I
see,
heard the Coke part, I was like, I'm sorry, you did what
she
Coke?
was listening. She's
I
literally here was like
Oh,
dissecting your
the
music,
old song,
and then she was. Oh
interesting.
no, this was beautiful. Everything she was
Yeah, that's an
listening to
older song,
that
much older song.
specifically, and she's just yeah. So she's just
I
like
was
dissecting
concerned.
your music, and
Was
she's like,
concerned.
"Wow!" And then she's like, "Am I gonna have to hide my stuff?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Because I thought she was on crack. Because you said that because her father was absent,
You
she was
see me?
on
You
crack.
see what I have?
And I
This is
was
what I've
like,
been dealing
I
with, and
said,
I'm
wait
just
a
like,
minute,
"What?"
let me rewind this shit. And then
And it doesn't
I'm
help
like,
that we've been watching the series Painkillers on Netflix.
Oh,
Her
I just
brain is like
noticed
not
that.
here.
it
I seen that was on
is,
there.
it
Like she's
is.
been
And
watching it, and I just been hearing it, and it's talking about the whole epidemic of when Oxy first came out and how people were addicted to it. So this is what I've
Yeah.
been dealing with. So she's like, "Do I have to hide my stuff?" And I'm like,
it was
"The
only
fuck?"
after she
Like,
showed me the song. It was only after that because he said that because our dad was absent that you were doing crack, and that sounds
I
like
said
something that could
crack.
happen.
God.
He did say crack.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
did not.
bring it up. He said crack.
Crack.
said crack. Yes,
Oh
he
my
did.
God.
Yo,
What?
as soon as
Cocaine.
we get off this call, we're listening to the
It
song,
said
and I'm gonna
cocaine.
send it
It
to him, and
said
I'm gonna be like,
cocaine.
it's even worse. Like, okay, my bad. Crack
Even
is
worse.
for poor people. Okay, this is upscale
Oh
shit. I'm
my
sorry. You
God.
were doing
Well,
upscale cocaine. My bad. But I was like, do I
oh
gotta hide
man.
my shit? Like,
My sister, everyone.
and my
This
hat
My
is
went
sister,
beautiful.
missing.
my
Well,
sister,
My
the
hat
nurse.
was my
My
hat
sister,
went
the nurse,
missing.
everyone.
this has been a very
I'm
interesting.
over here like, yo,
This has
she
been a
doesn't
very
even look
interesting
like a
episode to say
junkie.
the
Like,
least.
how the fuck?
I don't even look like a junkie, guys.
That's a compliment.
Guys, no, I'm not a junkie. It's not
That's
a
what I'm
compliment.
saying. That you're
I
not.
shouldn't
You
look
don't
like
even
one
look.
Oh my
because I'm
God.
not one.
This
Oh
has
shit,
Baby,
this is.
yo.
I was gonna say, like, baby, you would a crackhead?
Oh man, apparently, bro. I don't know. Like
Yo, well,
maybe I should
that's
start
what
hiding
he
my shit.
said. He put it in his song, and I was just like, oh shit, like
Yo.
that's her man. Like
Now I'm
that's her
starting to
man. Like
realize
they
shit
have
is
a
going
baby
missing.
together. Yo, my hat went missing. That's what
You
I'm
stole a hat,
saying.
babe?
Like,
Crazy.
Her
Everybody gotta empty their
WeChat,
bags.
yeah.
Everybody gotta empty their bags.
I stole her WeChat. Wasn't you
Oh
just asking
oh
me
man,
for your
this is
shit.
Apple Pen
crazy.
like 2 days ago?
Yeah,
I
my
was gonna
Apple
say,
Pen
where
is
you?
missing. Like, oh, you know what? We
Oh,
have to
she
talk about
stole
this. You
your
know what?
shit.
Yeah, we have to talk about this.
Start
Anyway,
an investigation. Start an
I
investigation.
appreciate y'all for stopping through and jumping on this, man. And we done talked about everything from fucking meeting our estranged siblings to our estranged siblings being fucking junkies, apparently. Now, it was a,
That
it was
sounds
a
like
good
true
time.
family.
Bro, this sounds like some fucking lifetime shit. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man.